Alright, I want to give all praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. And to the sincere brothers that's pushing the word in truth and sincerity on the highways and the byways. I want to get into this lesson. Forgive me for the light. I'm at work. I'm on my break right now. Just forgive me for the lighting. I want to get into this lesson about faith. And it's also dealing with the affliction and things that we're going through. You know, you got to have faith and endure through the hard times that we're going through right now, you know. So I'm going to start out by starting with Hebrews chapter 10, verse 38. Now the just shall live by faith, but if any man draw back, my soul shall have no pleasure in him. Okay? So we have to live by faith, you know. We have to live by the things that we've been taught and told, that the Lord has said and spoke about in the word. We have to live by that, you know. We can't be wishy-washy, like, oh, we believe this for a season, and then we want to go back, you know, go back into the world, you know, put our hand to the plow and then, you know, go back. Verse 39. But we are not of them who draw back unto perdition, but them that believe to the saving of the soul. And we're going to get into Hebrews 11. Now faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. You know, to have faith into something is something like, it's more or less something that you believe is there, you know. It's like, you know, I believe that I'm going to get paid on Friday, but who knows that, you know, the bank could mess something up, but I have faith that they're going to pay me on Friday. I'm putting in my work right now, so on Friday I'm having faith that they're going to pay me, you know. You have faith in a lot of things outside of the truth and the scriptures that you have faith in. You know, you have faith when you go inside your room and you flip the switch on the light, that the light's going to come on. You know, you don't ever go into your room and flip the light switch on and just hope, you know, I hope the light's going to come on right now. You have faith that it's going to come on. You hit the switch and you keep it moving, you know, and that's how we should be in this truth. We should have faith no matter what the scenario is or what things are looking like, that the words in this book are going to come true. Okay? For by it the elders obtained a good report. Through faith we understand that the worlds were framed by the word of God, so that the things which are seen were not made of things which do appear. By faith Abel offered unto God a more excellent sacrifice than Cain, by which he obtained witness that he was righteous, God testifying of his gifts, and by it he, being dead, yet speaketh. Okay? By faith Enoch was translated and should not see death, and was not found, because God had translated him. For before his translation he had this testimony, that he pleased God. He pleased the Most High. You know, when they spoke about Enoch, he said he was a righteous man. He you know, he walked upright before the Lord, you know, by faith. But without faith it is impossible to please him, for he that cometh to the Most High must believe that he is, and that he is the rewarder of them that diligently seek him. Okay? It's impossible to please the Most High without having faith, because, you know, a lot of these things, it's not going to be evident when you first see it, you know. Like, you know, when you first come into the truth, you might not see the persecution and all the hell that you're going to be going through from when you first get into the truth. But as, you know, time progresses and things go forward, you start seeing it. I know a while back, you know, a lot of the prophecies concerning Gog and Magog, they weren't evident. But now we see, you know, that is, you know, that prophecy is definitely coming to pass, you know. If you were to try to, you know, I remember trying to tell people about this a while back, and they're like, you know, Russia's our friend. Like, you know, Russia's not going to be our friend for a long time, you know. So it's just something you have to believe in, although you don't see it right then and there, you know. By faith, being warned of God of things not seen as of yet, moved with fear, prepared an ark, to the saving of his house, by which he commend the world, and became heir of the righteousness which is by faith. So when Noah when Noah was living, the Most High told Noah, I'm going to destroy the earth by a flood. I'm going to make it rain, and it's going to flood. And before that time, the waters sprang up out of the geysers and stuff like that. It didn't really rain on the earth. And so that was a new thing to the earth. People were calling Noah, I believe, preached the word for, 120 years when he was making the ark. So, he was preaching and telling everybody, I'm building this boat. People were walking by, like, what are you doing with that big boat? Hey man, I'm making this because the Most High is going to flood the earth. People scoffed at him and called him crazy and things like that. But, Noah knew what was going on. And when the Lord closed the doors on the ark and it started raining, then people would see it, And Noah never seen the rain coming, all the way until he finished building the boat and everything like that, gathered all the animals. He never saw the rain coming, but, he had faith that it was coming. He followed the Most High, prepared himself, got on the ark. And if you was to put yourself in that kind of scenario, you have a planet full of people. It might be a strange thing for somebody to tell you, hey man, I'm going to kill everybody on the planet but you and your family. That kind of sounds a little far-fetched. You only going to save me and these 7 other people? Everybody else is going to die? That sounds a little far-fetched, but he had faith. And that faith, look at his reward, He was the progenitor, basically, of the second go-round, By faith, Abraham, when he was called to go out into a place which he should after receive for an inheritance, obeyed, and he went out, not knowing whether he went. So Abraham, the Most High was going to give him a land, and he told him to leave his house and to go sojourn into this strange land he'd never been to, And Abraham, he didn't ask any questions. He just up and went, And so you try to translate that today, sometimes the Most High is telling you, hey, you need to make this move, you need to make that move, but we're stuck saying, how am I going to pay my bills? How am I going to get to work? How am I going to do this? Sometimes the Most High has got all these things prepared for you. You just have to take that first step. You got to have the faith that the Most High is dealing with you, and he's not going to lead you wrong, and lead you astray and leave you nowhere, out helpless. He's there to save you, not harm you. By faith he sojourned in the land of promise, as in a strange country, dwelling in tabernacles with Isaac and Jacob, the heirs of him of the same promise. So, so pretty much throughout this time, Abraham is looking for this land, and, I'm pretty sure in his day-to-day life, he's catching hell. He's just like, man, I wish I could find this land that the Most High, telling me I'm going to inherit and I'm going to possess and be an heir over. I'm looking for this land. I'm just a stranger walking through these strange lands, I don't have a place for my own family to go. But, he still had the faith and he still went forth, For he looked for a city which hath foundations, whose builder and maker is God. Okay? Through faith, also Sarah herself received strength to conceive seed, and was delivered of a child when she was past age, because she had judged him faithful who had promised. That was when she gave birth to Isaac. I believe she was in her 90s or something like that. She was an elderly woman, Therefore sprang there even of one, and of him as good as dead, so many as the stars of the sky in the multitude, and as the sands which by the sea shore innumerable. These all died in faith, not having received the promise, but having seen them afar off, were persuaded of them, and embraced them, and confessed that they were strangers and pilgrims on earth. So it says, let me read that one more time. It says, these all died in faith, not having received the promise. So they all died. They was all promised a reward, but they all died not, they didn't get to go into that promised land. Abraham didn't make it into the promised land. He never really made it into the land of Israel. They went there after with with Joshua and Caleb. Moses didn't even get to enter in. And so, but the Most High had promised it to him, and he had faith that the Most High was going to deliver. So he lived his life out, and they all died having faith. For they that say such things declare plainly that they seek a country. And truly, if they had been mindful that the country from whence they came out of, they may have had the opportunity to have returned. But now they desire a better country, that is heavenly, wherefore God is not ashamed to be called their God. For he has prepared them a city. And that kind of goes back, also touching back into Egypt. When they was leaving out of Egypt, you had them scoffing and, well, this is actually before the Egypt deal, but, they were trying to come out of Egypt, and some of them wanted to go back in Egypt, how good this was and that was. But if they would have only understood the promised land that the Most High was bringing them to, it would have been 1,000 times better than where they was coming from. You got to let go certain things and give up certain things to receive what the Most High is trying to give to you. You got to have that faith that the Most High, yeah, he's taking something away from you that you feel comfortable with, but he's trying to bless you with something a lot better, By faith, Abraham, when he was tried, offered up Isaac, and had received the promise, offered up his only begotten son, of whom it was said that Isaac shall thy seed be called. Accounting that God was able to raise him up even from the dead, from whence also he received him in a figure. So, when the Most High told Abraham to take Isaac up on the mountain and sacrifice him on the altar, and when he told him that, when I first read that the first time, I found it kind of funny that, Abraham didn't say nothing. The Most High told him, hey, go up there and sacrifice his son. The very next line, Abraham is taking Isaac up on the hill. There wasn't no, why, oh Lord, why? I don't understand, or no backlash, he just did it, But the Most High had already promised him that, through his son Isaac, the whole world was going to be blessed, But how is that going to be possible if I'm about to put him to death? Abraham understood that even if he does put him to death, the Most High has the power to raise him back up, and he wasn't going to be slack concerning his word. By faith, Isaac blessed Jacob and Esau concerning things to come. By faith, Jacob, when he was dying, blessed both of his sons, both of the sons of Joseph, and worship, leaning upon the top of his staff. By faith, Joseph, when he died, made mention. By faith, Joseph, when he was dying, blessed both his sons, and Joseph. Hold on. By faith, Jacob, when he was dying, blessed both the sons of Joseph, and worship, leaning upon the top of his staff. By faith, Joseph, when he died, made mention of the departing of the children of Israel, and gave commandment concerning his bones. By faith, Moses, when he was born, and was hid 3 months of his parents, because they saw he was a proper child, and that they were not afraid of the king's commandment. By faith, Moses, when he was years to come, refused to be called the son of Pharaoh's daughter. Let me go back one. Verse 23. By faith, Moses, when he was born, was hid 3 months of his parents, because they saw he was a proper child, and that they were not afraid of the king's commandment. So at that point in time, they were putting to death all the boys of a certain age, from a certain age under. But his parents had faith. They saw something that was in Moses, and they had faith that the Most High would take care